Okay, after you have installed the launcher onto your computer, the next time you come and go to an office hour, let's say it's the following week, and you want to go to this live session, you just click or copy and paste into that session, and we'll see what happens thereafter. Okay, so I clicked on that link or copied and pasted it, and now I am to log in the session. So let's say I'm going to call myself student. I have a first name of student and a last name of student. Log in. And again, since you already installed the launcher, it's automatically going to open with the launcher. So you're going to click OK. And we're going to wait a little bit. And now we're going to run. And wait a little bit again for CCC Confer to load up. And we are in. So notice here, Roya Firmly, I will be the moderator. I will be there during office hours when you come in to join me. And student was, for example, what I just put in right now. That would be you, the student. There may be a list of other students already in there. And at the beginning of course, the office hours, there will be less, and there might be other people joining us as we go along. So if you join in late, there might be things happening already. So for example, you may see there's a chat portion here where you can type things up, and I'll be typing things up as well, and everyone can see it. And then there's also the whiteboard portion here. So if you have a tablet, it's useful to have that to be able to write on it. Otherwise, you might just be watching and sort of chatting to see what's happening. So notice what I just typed in via chat. I said, welcome to office hours, student. What is the question that you have? So at this point, you have the option of talking. Your audio, of course, should be turned on, the volume on your computer. And you have the option of typing things as well. The other things you want to pay attention to, especially if you have a tool to write with, it's really useful here. This button right here, this one right here will be useful because it'll allow you to write things on the whiteboard. If you have questions, for example, you can write that up on the board and tell me via the chat place right here and say, I don't know how to solve that. And I will see at my end that you chatted and stated that. Or if you're talking, it's probably easier. The audio version is useful. You can click on the button that says talk and notice a little microphone comes on, and you can say whatever questions you have. So you can go back and forth between turning it off and turning it on by clicking it. If you want to leave it on at all times and just be quiet and chime in when you have a question, that's fine too. So that's useful, the talk button, so I can hear you and you will hear me from my end as well. And at this button, because it allows you to write. This button up here also, does the same thing. You can write whatever you want if you have, again, the tool to be able to write on the whiteboard. So those are the main two features for you to be able to write on the whiteboard if you need to and talk to me. Because when you come into office hours, you will have to explain to me what it is that you've done so far and why you are stuck on that problem. You will not just be given the answer. Also, the other thing I may expect you to do is email me the night before with the questions you have. That way we don't spend time going and pulling up the question from online. So that's the other feature that I want to show you, which we may or we may not use. The other thing you could do, the other feature again, is the screen capture, I believe, which is this button right here. And it allows you to just have a screen capture of wherever you want to go to. So I am in the Blackboard Collaborate place right now. Instead, I'm going to click to go to our course. And let's see if I could do that. So if you want to do the screen capture, it takes a little bit more work because you have to go back into our course. Maybe let's say I'm going to go to, so what I did in the bottom, I went back to the browser where I was accessing the course. Let's quickly say I want to access section 2.1 or something. Okay, so I'm going to go to course calendar. In the background, notice the launcher is still running and I'm using the browser to go to 2.1. And let's say I want to go to question 18 because that's the one I was stuck on. And again, I repeat, if we do this the night before, if something you have a question on is already, I know about it ahead of time, this can go a lot quicker. Now I could do a screen capture and move my window to be exactly where I want it to be and say OK. Brings me back to the launcher, and I can move this around, but maybe I want to put it right here. And I click again, and now it's displayed to me at my end. I will be able to see what it is that you have a question on, and you can say, yeah, this is the question that I'm stuck on. But notice that wastes time going and bringing that in. So if I know ahead of time what your questions are, that's going to be easier because you can have the screen captures ahead of time if need be, or I can have them done. But in this case, again, then you can write on it and say, if I'm looking, for example, at f of 3, I don't know how to, I'm going to go back to wanting to write on this. So I'm going to click on this button up here, and you can say, well, I know I have to go to the value of 3. I know I have to go to the value of 3, but then once I'm at 3, I don't know how to get the y value and so forth. So then we can go back and forth, and if the talk option is on, we can go back and forth communicating. And then if there are too many students in here, right now it's just the moderator, me, and me again, pretending to be a student. There's also this option of raising your hand, so at my end I will know that you have a question and then I can address you. So again, very quickly, the things that you really need to know is the talk button so we can communicate easily. The chat button is useful if you need to type something again, testing, whatever. So if you need to chat, you just type and push enter. Getting rid of raising your hand means you're okay, you're done. The other thing is this button up here or this button right here that allows you to write things. And then the screen capture and all the other options, you can play around with them, but they're not really necessary. If I require you to let me know your question ahead of time the night before, then we can directly have the screen captures ahead of time, or we can figure out a way to make this go quickly. And then when you're done with joining the session, or you come in, your question gets answered and you want to leave, you just click File and say Exit. Do you really want to leave the session? You say OK, and you're good to go. You're out from the room. So you'll be out of the room, the screen will go away, and you'll come back to wherever your browser was from before. So those are some of the basic features of how to do office hours. The talk, the chat, and the writing on the board are the important ones.